We are now joined by Aric Almirola, driver of the number 43 STP Ford, and crew chief and Darlington native Trent Owens. Aric, we'll start with you. You're running the iconic number 43 paint scheme this weekend. Tell us about being here for the throwback weekend.
Well, it's always fun to come to Darlington first and foremost, but then to come here on Labor Day weekend, now that it's back to its roots and back to what everybody thinks about when they come to Darlington. It's just really cool, and the fact that all the race teams, well, not all of them, but 90% of the race teams have really gotten involved with the throwback scheme. The sponsors have gotten involved, the crew guys, the racetrack, obviously. So it's just a really fun weekend. It seems really cool, and it's really neat to walk through the garage area and to see the cars and to see the pit crew guys. And it really makes you realize how far our sport has come, first and foremost, and then secondly, how just the appreciation of what all the teams and everybody has for the guys that came before us.
And Trent, tell us a little bit about being back here at your home track and the tradition that Darlington has.
Well, I see the weather hadn't changed much, but no, it's always good to come to Darlington. It's home, so just like anybody in this room, anytime you go home, it feels good. But Darlington's a tough racetrack. It's one of the toughest places we go. It's mentally demanding, physically demanding, tough on the crew chiefs. But coming to Darlington and racing, and we won a race here with Jamie McMurray way back when I worked on that team, and that was special. So hopefully we can have a good run this weekend and maybe find our way in victory lane.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll start up here.
Hey, Aric, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. How much fun is this whole thing to do with the mustache and the old school uniforms and the throwback paint scheme? Is this something that's an enjoyment, distraction? Is it fun for you guys?
No, I think it's fun. Like I said earlier, I think it's really cool to be able to honor all the guys, the crew guys, and the drivers and stuff that came before us. Obviously, we have a very special situation having STP as a sponsor that's been sponsoring Richard for over 40 years, and so to have that opportunity to kind of go back in time is really fun, and I don't think it's a distraction at all. I think it's fun. All the crew guys are enjoying it. I think it's exciting, and it gives everybody just a chance to break up the monotony, of showing up to the racetrack with kind of the same old thing every week.
We'll go to Don and then Kenny.
You'll have to take my word for it. I'm back here. I'm Don Coble with Morris News Service. Aric, you've got Richard's old mustache. Would you like to also find his old success here, especially with your position in the chase?
From what I've heard, he didn't have that much success here. This is the one track that he didn't just show up to all the time and dominate. He ran good here, but he didn't have the success here that he had at a lot of the other racetracks. And Trent actually could probably shed more light on that because he used to come to all the races, especially in the summertime with the Kings. So, I think they ran a lot better at a lot of other tracks, obviously Martinsville and Rockingham and those kind of places. But yeah, I think he still ran top 5 even when he ran bad here. So I'd certainly take a top 5 out of here, and I'd love to go to Victory Lane. This is a really special place, and when you think of all the racetracks you want to win at, Daytona is obviously top of the list. Indy's special, Charlotte's special, but Darlington is really high on the list, and especially now, just the fact that it's back on Labor Day weekend, and it really is the Southern 500. It'd be really cool, and then obviously Trent has a really special connection to this place, so it'd be really fun to get him to Victory Lane here.
We'll go to Kenny Bruce.
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. Aric, I'm surprised you don't have the cowboy hat and sunglasses. I would have thought that would have been
He didn't wear the cowboy hat in '72, I don't think. I think he started wearing it later on. Well, so I'm trying to be traditional. I got the bill of my hat folded square like he did when he'd shove it in his back pocket. So I'm trying to be as original as I can.
All right. Trent, you grew up here. I understand you're going to be Grand Marshal of the parade tomorrow night. When did you realize the historical significance of this race on this weekend? I mean, I would imagine as a kid it really didn't dawn on you.
No, it's it really just when we started coming back and they changed the date, I think, when they changed the date and I was involved in racing already, started crew chief in the Saturday series, which now is the Xfinity series. Probably hit home then, when the date got changed. So, and then today with it all coming back, I mean, that's really, really important. And then when you look at the history of just the event in itself and when it started, the guys who have won here, the guys who have raced here, and look at some of the old pictures of the old cars running around the bottom because they were scared to get on the banking. You really start to see the tradition and history, and it really is, one of the more important places and parts of this sport, the history of getting started. So, now that I'm older, it definitely means a lot. When I was a kid, I was more interested in playing in the infield than watching the race. Now I'm just waiting to see what I'm going to get thrown at me, basically. But no, it was neat that they called and asked if I would participate in the Southern 500 parade, and I remember standing on the side of the road uptown and watching it come through as a child. So never really did vision myself riding in the parade as Grand Marshal, but it's definitely an honor and definitely excited to be a part of that.
Any final questions for Aric? We'll go to Chris and then back to Dawn.
Chris Knight@Trends.com. Aric, was it too early to get a feel for the low downforce package in first practice?
No, I thought I got a feel for it the first lap. I think the thing that the low downforce package does is it creates a lot more off throttle time, and as soon as you drive down in the corner for the first lap, you know, and we tested here a month ago, maybe a little more than that, maybe 6 weeks ago. And with the other package, there was a lot of on throttle time. I mean, you were really close to running wide open in turn 1 and 2, and you have to lift in 3 and 4. But the amount of on throttle time was just unbelievable here at the test. And now when we come back with this package, there's a lot more. You lift really early before you ever even get to the corner, and it drives more like the older cars. It drives more like the old Darlington. The pavement's getting more wore out. Goodyear brought a tire that seems to be falling off a lot more. So I'm really excited about the race and this aero package. In practice there, I ran around quite a few other cars, and the balance of the car doesn't really change that much when you're behind another car. So I'm happy about that. I mean, I think that's as a race car driver, that's what we want. We want to be able to have to lift off the gas, use the brake pedal, and actually drive the race cars and not just run wide open and steer it around the racetrack. And we don't want the car to drastically change balance when you catch another car. And I feel like that's what we have here, and it's very similar to what we had at Kentucky.
Dawn.
I'm still back here. Aric, when did you decide to do the mustache, and did having last week off give you a chance to get a running start on it?
Yeah, I've got about 5 days in this, so it's not, I wasn't fully committed. I shaved last week on vacation. I went to dinner with my wife and got cleaned up, and then after that, I kind of just let it go crazy, and I had a few drinks out on the beach, and thought that it'd be cool to grow this. And I got a late start. I'd like for it to be a little bit fuller, but this is all I got for now.
And as a follow-up to that, has the King seen it? Has he said anything about it?
He did. He saw it, and he actually liked it. He said he won the Daytona 500 with a mustache that looked just like this. So we'll see if we can't win the Southern 500 with one.
All right, we'll finish up with Dustin Long and then Bob.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. For both of you, can you talk about what you're seeing in the tire fall off and how significant is that? Any different from what we've seen in years past? And I think Trent, this weekend you guys have an extra set of tires as opposed to what you had last year at this event. What does that mean to have that extra set?
Yeah, the tire fall off is quite a bit more than last year. It has something to do with the track, I'm sure, something to do with the tire they brought back. But this aero package, it needs a tire that falls off, and it needs to put the race back in the driver's hands. So, in the crew chief's perspective, it lets us work on the race car in a more mechanical way versus just worrying about the aero platform of the car. So, it kind of opened up some old old avenues of thoughts, as far as car setup. So I like it. I think that you need cars to run fast in the first 10 laps. You need cars to run fast 50, 60 laps in. I think that's where you're going to get the diversity in the field and have passings for the lead and stuff like that. So, I like what I see here. The extra set of tires just means we get to pit one more time. So I'm sure we're going to use them all the way the fall off is going.
How much of a fall off was it? I thought I heard on the radio something he was talking about nearly a second within 10 laps of 2 seconds tire run. What were you saying?
Yeah, I think that me and Aric was looking at their practice. It looked like a couple of cars made 20 lap runs and it was close to 2 seconds in speed. So, and I think those are pretty good cars. So, those aren't exact numbers, but as you can imagine, 2 seconds is a lot of time in 20 laps.
We'll finish up with Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Aric, mathematically, you could still get into the chase on points, but do you view that as realistic?
Honestly, I do. I think when you're mathematically still in, until somebody tells us that we're not, I think I feel like we have a shot. I've been really proud of what we've been able to accomplish this year. Last year we were 25th or 26th in points, and we made the chase because we won at Daytona. And this year I feel like if we make the chase, we've certainly earned it. We've run really consistent this year. We haven't had the speed that we want, and that's just being real. Our cars just haven't been as fast as we had hoped, but we've really executed this year, and we've gotten the finishes. When we've had bad days, we've turned them into okay days, and when we've had okay days, we've turned them into good days. And we've had a few hiccups along the way, but I think overall this has been probably one of our best seasons as far as executing and running solid races and finishing. So I think if we do that 2 more times and some of the other guys around us have some bad luck, I think it's certainly possible. I don't see why it's not. I think if we come here and run good, if we run top 15, top 10, and the 15 hits the fence or something happens or engine failure or anything like that, we're right back in it. We go to Richmond 10, 12, 15 points out. I think that puts us with a real shot. We run good at Richmond from time to time, so I'm excited about our chances. I think we have as good a shot as some of the other guys around us.
All right, Aric and Trent, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.